Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Professor Ming's Strategic Insights. In late February, Israel and the United States joined hands to launch a massive airstrike against Iran, targeting at supposedly more than 2,000 targets in Iranian territory, including political, military, and nuclear targets. And the operation, it is said, also eliminated more than 40 top Iranian leaders, including political, religious, and military leaders. And of course, the highest religious leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, was also included. And needless to say, the Iranian retaliated by launching it is said, more than 1,500 rockets, missiles, and drones at Israeli targets and the American military bases in the area. But today we're not going to talk about what really happened in the area. Let's shift our attention away from the immediate area, and to China, to communist China, supposedly the strongest or the most powerful ally of Iran, and see what kind of impact this operation has upon China, upon communist China. The question can be probed from the following aspects: energy, trade and economy, Belt and Road Initiative, geopolitics, and of course, the Taiwan issue. The first impact the war has on China is China's oil supply. As we all know that China obtains its oil about 45 to 50% of oil from the region. And Iranian oil accounts for about 20 to 22% of China's oil supply. And on the other hand, more than 80 to 90% of Iran's oil shipped to China. So China relies heavily upon the oil from the region and especially from Iran. And if the war drags on a little bit longer, then the oil supply for China will be in great danger. As we all know, that 90% of the total world oil transportation goes through the Hormuz Strait. And if Iran decides to block the strait, then that means the oil price, global oil price, will increase sharply, which will deal a heavy blow on China's economy. It'll increase its costs in energy, of course, and also in the manufacturing industries, and it will suffer a greater pressure upon inflation, and also it'll retard its economic recovery. So that's the first impact. The second impact will be on China's trade and economy. As we all know, that China relies heavily on foreign trade, and its trading relations with the Middle East countries and the European countries are of utmost importance to China now, especially when they're having a trade war with the United States. So if a war happens in the region, and should it prolong a little bit longer, and it will affect the international trade heavily, and it will deal a heavy blow on China's economy. And that's the second aspect. These two are more on the economic side. Let's turn to the political side and the strategic side a little bit more. Thirdly, that China has been promoting its BRI initiative in the area for a long time. BRI means Belt and Road Initiative. China has been promoting this BRI initiative for many years in the region. And Iran has been serving as a pivotal link of the network. So Iran was financing groups like Hezbollah, Houthi, Hamas, and the militia in Syria. Now that Iran has been neutralized, so to speak, by Israelis and Americans, so that means all these groups, Hamas or Hezbollah, will lose its strongest support. And it also heavily reduced China's influence in the region, and together with its prestige in the region. The fourth aspect, the fourth question is, of course, about Taiwan. The question is, how will this war against Iran affect Beijing's decision to attack Taiwan? Will it accelerate or decelerate the process? Well, my guess is it's going to slow down the process. Well, given the intelligence, military, and technological capabilities demonstrated by both the United States and Israel in this war, that should serve a very strong deterrence for Beijing should they decide to attack Taiwan. Of course, Beijing will know that Israel will never get involved in the war in Taiwan Strait, at least not directly. So in the case of Asia or Asia Pacific, or specifically Taiwan, then Beijing would have taken non-Israel but Japan into consideration together with the United States. So Beijing would have to assess whether they can outmaneuver the joint force of both the United States and Japan. And again, in terms of intelligence, military, and technological capabilities. So in sum, my guess is it's going to slow down Beijing's process. It'll serve as strong deterrence for Beijing in Taiwan, in the Taiwan case. So lastly, what Beijing really concerns is the possibility of a regime change in Iran. This time, the United States and Israel joined-handed to eliminate the entire leadership of Iran, the top 40 leaders of Iran. And if taken into consideration what happened in Venezuela in early January, the capture of the President Maduro by the United States troops, Beijing will probably come to a conclusion that President Trump is not only playing with the idea, he's also actually promoting the policy of bringing about a regime change in the countries he doesn't like. Venezuela, Iran, and will China be the next one, or North Korea be the next one? So in their mind, a color revolution by way of force is a possibility. So that's something that really worries them. So I guess that's what concerns Beijing the most. What they can do about Iran is very little. And I suppose what they can do is try to gather more information about what's going on inside Iran and try to have access to the incoming Iranian leadership and see what they can do from there. Well, there's much more to talk about in the coming weeks. So we'll try to keep you informed. And that's all we can do. And that's all we can share with you today. I hope you like it. And please do subscribe and share it with your friends. Do not forget to click the icon bell so that you can get an on-time notification. That's all for today. I'll see you next time.